Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
Like I'm dead.
You know, there's this theory that there were already black people here in America.
Of course there was. You think there's millions of people who got on a rickety-ass boat all the way?
Oh, no.
There's no way they shipped off all those people. We were already here. Because you know America is really like Egypt, like the Holy Land. I hope you guys know that, right?
No, explain that.
You guys don't know this?
No.
Why is there a Memphis, Tennessee here? Why is there an Egypt in Tennessee? Like if you look at, like, start to really put the pieces together. There's a Memphis in Africa and in Egypt, but also there's an Egypt, Tennessee.
I've heard that the Mississippi River is really the Nile River.
That's what it is. There's pyramids all around the United States. So even in East St. Louis.
Okay, there's pyramids in the United States.
Yes.
Where?
East St. Louis, Illinois. Look up Monk Mounds by the Chokia Society.
So they named it something different.
Well, there's not just one particular kind. Monk Mounds, there's pyramids.
Where else are there pyramids?
You don't think that there's anything in the Grand Canyon at all, even though the government owns it?
I heard they don't want you to go down there.
Of course.
Definitely.
Most of the Grand Canyon, just like a majority of Nevada, 80% of it is owned by the government. Why do you think that is? There's structures in the canyon that look similar to Egyptian monoliths and whatnot. They discovered pyramids of Giza. There's almost 2-mile long structures under them, coils wrapped around them. These pyramids change history at this point, what they discovered. So I think they are hydroelectric only because they're near bodies of water. Here in America, we have what? Mississippi River, St. Louis. Monk Mounds are. Oh, they're not too far. You think that they didn't have this technology or this type of structures only in Egypt and they have it here? These are hydroelectric structures. They were in a very advanced civilization. This is why I do deep dives into this stuff, because I know nothing about Africa. I'm not African.
Right.
I am American and I am native to this land. Like, look at I don't look African. You can tell an African.
Absolutely can tell. 100%.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, those are different people. Like, yeah, like how far do we have to go back? Because eventually, yeah, everybody's from Africa.
Right.
That's where humanity started. But I was born here. My parents are born here. My grandparents are born here. And their parents are born here. And their parents are born here. And how long do I have to go back until I'm African?
Ask yourself why major political pundits in the US are deleting all of these interview videos. Maybe Iran is saying something they don't want all of us to hear?
It's Iran.
Shut up. Let's start with the fact that they said they want no ceasefire. The US has failed its operation to, complete all the stuff within 4 days as of day 6. And also, they're ready for the ground invasion, they say. Also, they're working with Russia and China. Maybe they have something up their sleeve?
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
From every aspect, it looks like they're trying to bring about the holy war, they call it. We'll get into this later. Here's them saying no ceasefire.
Right now you're saying Iran does not want a ceasefire.
We are not asking for a ceasefire. And we don't see any reason why we should negotiate with the US. When we negotiated with them twice, And every time they attacked us at the middle of negotiations.
Pretty insane. Meanwhile, the president saying he has to have a choice with the new leader of Iran. I thought this wasn't regime change. Further, they offered to stop enriching and doing all that stuff. It was covered by all political pundits all over Twitter and even mainstream media. Then we attacked last second. Again, why did all these accounts delete these videos from their Twitter? Now they're saying they didn't attack any of their neighbors besides US bases. You would say, why should I even listen to Iran? Is the US much better? I don't believe neither of them. But if you only listen to one side and refuse to hear the other out, then you're just ignorant, having the information available and not wanting it.
Well, I think, now 6 days after the war, it is clear that the US has failed to achieve its main goal, which was a clean, rapid victory. They failed to achieve that, and now they are trying to justify why they did attack us, and they have, presented so many different reasons, but none of them worked. And now they are talking about, Plan B.
We have caught Pete Hegseth lying, we've caught Marco Rubio lying, and right here he says the US is guilty of a war crime, attacking a ship with no weapons. Things are not as they appear. Just wait until I show you later what I have to show you. Let me know what you think below.
Apparently, OpenAI thought that we needed ChatGPT more than we needed our privacy. OpenAI signed a deal with the Pentagon. OpenAI signed a deal with the Department of War, and people are nervous. But get this, they're trying to tell people that they signed that deal with the Department of War, with the Pentagon, for military use only. But Claude AI has been feuding with the Pentagon because the Pentagon's Department of War wants to use Claude for mad domestic surveillance. So what does that have to do with OpenAI? Well, just like I said, OpenAI just signed that deal with the Pentagon. But privacy means everything to American people. And OpenAI, ChatGPT is falling right before their eyes. OpenAI users have been uninstalling OpenAI and ChatGPT ever since they got the news. There was a 295% spike. And that was all of the people that uninstalled. So basically, we know the AI app that we need to be with. We definitely need to be with Claude AI because Claude AI didn't take the bait. We already know that recently there's been a lot of debates inside the tech world about artificial intelligence being used for things like surveillance and warfare. You have some AI companies saying that they don't want their technology used for those purposes, and then you have the other one. Those ones are working with the government. You got to think about how powerful AI is already. It can analyze conversation, images, data, patterns, faster than any human could. And imagine that technology connected to government databases, surveillance systems, or military infrastructure. You do the math. Because history shows that once a powerful tool exists, governments and corporations find a way to use it. It's about power. And like I said, OpenAI took the bait. Pay attention.
Okay, so scientists just found 6,000-year-old human skeletons, and their DNA matches no one on Earth. Not ancient people, not modern people, nobody. It's like they came from people who quite literally just disappeared. Yeah, this is not AI. This actually just happened where researchers were analyzing ancient skeletons in the Bogota Altiplano region of Colombia, and when they started to run the DNA test, they thought that they would at least find some type of connection to somebody in the human family tree. But the genetics came back and showed something absolutely shocking, because they say that this group of skeletons belongs to a people whose lineage has completely disappeared. Like, how does that even happen? No modern descendants, no matching populations, nothing. So the scientists decided to take it a step further. They decided to study the DNA of 21 ancient people ranging from about 6,000 years ago to 500 years ago. And this group of skeleton seems to come from a population that has now vanished from the genetic record. Like, there is no resemblance whatsoever. And this is where it gets stranger. They don't even connect to any ancient Colombians or any ancient bordering countries. So it's as if they just disappeared into thin air. And the closest faint connection that people could find is to people in Central America who speak Chibchan languages. Pardon me if I'm not saying that correctly. But that leads to a huge question. How can a whole population of humans exist, build societies, and then leave absolutely no genetic trace? Like, did they migrate? Were they taken out? what exactly could have happened? And even the scientists right now, as I look into these articles, have no idea how to make sense of any of this. But these last two theories are the ones that hit me the hardest, because what's the possibility that they mix so much into other groups that their DNA completely got wiped away? Or furthermore, is this another piece of hidden history that we don't have access to? Because if a whole human lineage could disappear, how many more are there out there that we've yet to discover? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you've heard about this. If you haven't, save this video, go look into it. And if you like more interesting topics like this, grab your copy of 50 Forbidden Mysteries. Link is in the bio. Feel free to join the private group chat. Per usual, this is all alleged. I can't confirm or deny any information. Definitely implore you to do your research. Whatever else I find out, I'll be back. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
Y'all wanna know something that nobody's ready for in 2025 except for those who already seem to fucking know it? Black people are the aboriginals of every continent. Dark-skinned people are the aboriginals of every continent. Native Americans migrated over the ice bridge from Siberia, that would be Asia, and became what we now know as Native Americans. Yes, they lived off the land. Yes, they knew how to give back to it, so therefore they should be considered indigenous. But the people who were on that land before them and the ice bridge even formed were black people. Black people also built pyramids on every continent. That's why there are pyramids on every continent. The Buddha was a dark-skinned man. The Chinese, we have a lot of trouble denying that we come from melanin. We do. We've tried. We have not succeeded. The difference between us and every other group is that we can admit to the fact that we came from melanin. Why can't everybody else? It's not erasure to say that black people were the aboriginals of every country. We're not saying you didn't exist. We're saying you came after. What's so hard to understand? Just like me saying that Koreans came from China. It's not me saying that they don't have their own culture. That's how all of these Korean nationalists took it in my comments. Oh, you're saying we don't have our own culture or genetic identity? No, I'm saying that culture and genetic identity came from us. If you are not tapped in, and you don't talk to marginalized groups, and haven't spent any time with them, y'all gonna be offended by what I'm saying. Some of y'all only research your own identity, and that's it. And that's the only content you make besides your mantra. Black people were here first. Black people were here first. Black people were here first. And whoever that pisses off needs to leave my channel, needs to block me. All the above. Koreans, their genetics, their culture, came from the Chinese. From what is now known as China. And where did the Chinese come from? Black people.
This is footage of an Iranian drone carrier the size of a World War II aircraft carrier being struck down by the United States. A lot has happened today as the United States, Israel, and Iran have been trading missile strikes all day long, and now Lebanon is in this. Israel told more than 500,000 people in Lebanon to save your lives and evacuate your homes immediately as they have been striking the southern suburbs of Beirut, obviously targeting Hezbollah, and now Hezbollah is responding saying this will not go unanswered, and they are now warning citizens to evacuate the northern settlements because of what they are about to do. And to potentially make things even worse, the United States is considering an on-ground invasion, and just listen to how Iran's foreign minister responded.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
So you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war.
Hillary and Bill denying that they were ever on the Epstein files.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of my face with that shit, bro.
She says she doesn't know Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was at your daughter's wedding.
Oh, but she said she was a +1. They were asked her, she was like, Ghislaine went to your daughter's wedding. Like, how did she get to the wedding?
How did she get
She was a +1, and then she walked off.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all.
she ran after that question. It's like, bro, you're so disrespectful to the public's intelligence. It's crazy.
She's a liar.
What else is she gonna say?
Damn it. You can't say anything.
Fuck. +1? Yeah, fuck it. Run with that. But you gotta run after you say that.
Wait, wasn't Bill in a dress?
Man, Bill came out and said, I didn't know what kind of man he was. If I would have known that, I would have took him down. Bro.
How you gonna take him down? You're in the jacuzzi
trying to get taken down.
Yeah,
by God knows who.
Yeah, I don't like
or what?
Why is that painting in Epstein's crib with him in a dress in red heels?
Why were you at the Epstein Island 34 times?
34
on record. Because other times you could have went through submarine. Ghislaine had a fucking submarine license.
Yeah.
So you could have. That's just on record.
And here's the thing too. You just gotta look at the evidence, right? Virginia Shoephrase is dead. She was one of the lead people that was an Epstein victim. She gets hit by a bus, survives, and then she unalives herself. And she was one of the main victims, and she's not here anymore.
She got hit by a bus and survived.
Yes, this happened last year.
She was a real victim.
She knew that this stuff was gonna come out, and she had all this information. She'd been saying it for years. She gets hit by a bus, bro. Survives. And then unalives herself. Why would you do that after you got hit by a bus?
I survived. I did all of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it all. How?
Why?
The fact that Bill and Hillary are saying that they don't know anything is just like...
It's gaslighting to the 10th power.
Y'all are sick people, man.
Yeah, you just spitting it in our face and calling it rain.
I'm sorry, Bill can't say shit. You were in a dress, my guy.
Here's the part about documentation. It doesn't change. The fact that Epstein donated $25,000 to the Clinton Foundation and you don't know him, that's on record.
Come on, man.
Yeah, lock him up, bro.
It's honestly sick.
Yeah, lock these people up because I'm sick of this shit.
We been telling y'all bitch ass to quit eating that damn McDonald's because it got peoples in it. Where the fuck y'all been? This way before the Epstein files. All them damn documentaries on YouTube. Y'all called us crazy talking about ain't no damn peoples in them damn burgers. There's peoples in there. And we tried to told y'all. You just don't fucking listen. Y'all think everything a damn game until the other people tell you that this shit real. I might tell a joke, but I ain't gonna tell no motherfucking lie. Why you think that shit tastes different from your burger at the crib? Cause there's peoples in there. And you get sick and have all kind of health problems because you ain't supposed to be eating peoples. Y'all consuming people, flesh. Them folks gone away from here and they in your burger. And in a lot of these fast food restaurants, that ain't no damn meat. Motherfuckers, the goddamn farms running out of food, motherfuckers losing their farm and shit, and you think that's meat you eating. Nah, bitch, that's people. Bitch, you was a cannibal hoe. You eating folks. Better quit eating that shit. Buy muscle-headed hoes.
All across the earth, we find structures that don't make sense. Doors 20 feet high, steps too tall for a human stride. Stones weighing hundreds of tons, carved and moved with impossible precision. Historians say these were built by man. But what if the truth is much bigger? Ancient texts tell of a race of giants. And according to legend, they built the world that came before ours. Look at the architecture of the old world, the grand arches, the enormous windows, the doors built for something far taller than we are. It's as if we inherited a world made for giants, and we've been living in their ruins ever since. If this is true, it would mean history was rewritten.
For a long time, we have been told that mountains are just made of rock and soil created by nature over millions of years. But if you look closely at this specific mountain in Alaska called Mount Susitna, you can see the perfect shape of a woman's body lying down. And by the way, this isn't AI generated. Look it up yourself. Some believe these aren't just rocks, but ancient giants petrified by a massive disaster. But that's not all. The proof is in the Himalayan salt. While we're told it's from an old ocean, this theory suggests it's actually the dried blood of these titans. That deep pink color? It's the iron from their blood that crystallized into stone over thousands of years. While scientists say these shapes are just a trick of the eye called pareidolia, and that the salt is just mineral deposits, many people believe we are living on top of a world of giants.
The Smithsonian is responsible for hiding most of the discoveries of giant humans. They don't want people to know about these giants because it goes against the evolution theory. The skull used to be on display in Winnemucca, Nevada until a few years ago when they took it down. It's in the basement. You have to specially ask to see it. A giant human skull. Here's a normal human thumb bone. Underneath is a giant human thumb bone. We've got a replica of a thigh bone in our museum from a guy that would have been about 13 feet tall. These jaw bones are on display at a hotel in Turkey, 6.5 inches across the TMJs. Any one of you could put your head inside the jaw and bounce it around. Waukesha, Wisconsin found a human skull 3 times the size of ordinary humans. found in an Indian burial mound. This is a giant block of rock. Who on earth is moving these things? Consider that's a camel in front of it for scale. Who's cutting and moving these things? This is a 39-pound axe head. Swing a 10-pound sledge for a few minutes and see why I'm wondering who's swinging a 39-pound axe head.
Why is the Smithsonian so obsessed with buying up old farm plots in the Midwest?
Because they aren't buying the land, they're buying the silence. In the late 1800s, hundreds of local newspapers reported farmers digging up skeletons in mounds that were 16, 18, even 19 feet tall, and these are the golden ratios too.
And let me guess, the Smithsonian took them for study.
Every single time. Then those records just stop. If you look at the Great Serpent Mound or Cahokia, the engineering doesn't match the tools of the time. We're talking about massive earthworks aligned with lunar cycles. Look at the scale of the doorways and the weight of the stone.
So why hide the bones?
Because if you admit there was a superior race of humans before us, the entire evolutionary progress narrative collapses. It proves we're a downgraded version of something greater.
Well, by the way, the Smithsonian is an extension of the Vatican, okay? Really? I'll tell you right now. And I'm not going to tell you how I know that or, believe me. Take it to the bank. Just keeping people stupid. We're easier to control if we're dumber and believe a lot of lies and everything,
It's safe to say that Bill and Hillary Clinton was rattled yesterday in those depositions. It's also safe to say that if Bill Clinton was facing any criminal charges, even if he didn't do them, yesterday he would have been locked up. If you didn't see it, Bill Clinton was completely nervous, especially when they asked, why would Epstein say that he liked them young? Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
Cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Look how Bill starts shaking.
First of all,
look at Bill.
That's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
Damn, Bill.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Bill said it ain't true.
Yes.
Okay.
It might anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed?
They questioned Bill about being in that painting. Why was he in that painting? Why would Epstein have a painting of him like that? And Bill didn't know what to say. Bill was nervous again.
Submitted to the record,
Look at this
we
shit.
have a painting that seems to be of you, Mr. President, found in one of Jeffrey Epstein's residences, wearing a, I would categorize it as a famous blue dress worn by the White House intern Monica Lewinsky. And I have this image here. This image is being passed around. So, Mr. President, we are looking at an image of a portrait that is looks to be you, Mr. President, in this blue dress. Can you describe this painting? And
He doesn't need to describe the painting. You just gave him a picture. What's your question?
my question is, are you familiar with this painting? Have you ever seen it in person?
I've never seen it in person.
I'm out. They had Bill going down memory lane, so much so that his lawyer had to stop him from looking at certain pictures. Matter of fact, look at this shit right here. Look at Bill. Bill wanted that back. I'm looking. What's that?
Okay.
I know one thing, Bill ain't like that pressure. Bill better not ever do no crime. Cause he can't handle pressure. Bill Clinton cannot handle pressure.
Okay, so y'all remember that couple who went viral? They decided to move off the grid. They were documenting everything, quite literally building from the ground up, like wanted to homestead, source their own food, their own water. So they were showing the land, the acreage. They got like a little RV, moved it onto their land in the middle of nowhere, and they were just documenting everything. But then there was a day where they said they want to walk on the land to see all the acreage, to see what they could discover, because they were still new to the area, hadn't met much neighbors, and they discovered like a huge area with a bunch of shoes and book bags from little ones that were just buried. And they were so concerned because it was just so placed in a very weird position that they felt like somebody was trying to cover something up. So they reached out to the authorities in the county, and the authorities were just like, okay, we'll look into it. Then they reached back out to see if there was any development, any update. The authorities were like, yeah, we're good. You don't need to worry about this. You don't need to look it up. Then the guy starts filming and he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have looked into this. I should have posted it online. And now we're afraid for our lives because there have been some weird things going on. Y'all, this reminded me of the fact that at this port that was near this area, there was this guy, like, there are the coordinates right there, but there was somebody who was posting like help, Trafico, saying all of these things at a port and like writing it in big letters in the dirt to where you could see it from like satellite imagery. And then it got me to thinking about the fact that people debunked that. They were like, oh, somebody is just like a homeless person trying to gain attention. They tried to debunk that. They kind of washed that away. People stopped talking about it. But then it reminded me of the fact that, do y'all remember how all the people at the ports, working at the ports, went on strike? And there were all these rumors that the reason as to why they were going on strike wasn't just because of the pay, wasn't just because of AI and autonomy and all of this, but because that people would hear things in the trailers, like little ones in the trailers, people hearing screams in the trailers. And then they debunked that, and then that went away and nobody ever talked about it again. Isn't that so crazy? How all of these things come out, these claims come out, and then they get debunked, and then all of the stories just go away and we just move on to the next chaotic thing. Let me know if you remember any of those situations, because it lives rent free in my mind. I'm like, how do we move on so fast? Never get any resolution, never get any clear answer, never get any explanation, and it's just like, nope, we figured it out, guys, don't worry about it, we're good to go here, move on. Like Neuralizer, Men in Black. You never heard this. Very interesting. Anyways, just want to share that with you guys. Let me know if you remember what I'm talking about. If you don't, save this video, go look into it, come back, share your thoughts. Per usual, these are my personal opinions. This is all alleged. Can't confirm or deny any information, but definitely implore you to do your research. Whatever else I think of, I'll be back. Like, follow, stay with some more.
So the internet went crazy about this Jim Carrey thing, and we have answers, apparently, possibly. First of all, I'd like to shout out everybody who looked at that Jim and said that is not Jim. From what I can see, this appears to be Alexis Stone. Look at his page, it's kind of his thing. Jim Carrey has yet to respond, but from what it looks like, it was not a clone, not a reptilian, body double. So there you go.
They just started 2 wars to bury the Epstein files. Only Arabs know exactly what's happening. February 19th, Prince Andrew arrested for Epstein connections. February 24th, Bill Gates apologizes for Epstein ties. February 26th, Hillary testifies. World Economic Forum president resigns. February 27th, Bill Clinton testifies. 7 days of the biggest scandal exposures in history. Then what happens? Same day, Pakistan attacks Afghanistan. Next day, the US strikes Iran's leadership. 2 wars in 2 days. Here's what experienced observers notice. You can't make scandals disappear, but you can bury them under bigger events. Epstein dominated every headline all week. Now everyone's watching explosions. Nobody's talking about Clinton or Gates anymore. But here's the suspicious part. The same week global conflict rises, major defense contracts start moving. This is how power protects itself. 7 people exposed in 7 days. 2 wars started in 2 days. While the public watches conflict, deals get signed. Investigations stall. Nothing happens to the elite. Most people see separate news stories. Strategic thinkers see timing. The people at the top don't panic. They redirect attention. You don't fight power by reacting emotionally. You study how it moves. Never assume scandals alone will take down the powerful. Always watch how chaos reshapes influence. If you want to learn how to read power patterns instead of headlines, comment money and I'll share more.
The symbolism in this runway show you're about to watch goes very deep and it may make you uncomfortable. This is by far the most controversial runway show in Paris Fashion Week this year, and just pay very close attention to every single thing that they're wearing, the things in their eyes, on their mouth, on their feet, on their hands. This video we're about to watch is going to break down every single thing that they're wearing. This show is called The 1%.
It's just that, the call out of the 1%. The first part is introduction to a bourgeois family. You meet the mothers, fathers, daughters of the family. A lot of them wearing white gloves with red palms titled guilt gloves, symbolizing that there's blood on their hands. Some characters even choking on the accessories, symbolizing the greed. Wearing shirts saying I love power and literally being blinded with money. Instead of handcuffs, their hands are tied with pearl necklaces. Their pursuit of beauty and youth being one thing that they can never attain. The second part represents the power of community. This is also a call out of the 1%. It also is a reference how the Métier Fécal team has been referred to since their last debut in Paris. They're constantly called a cult, which can be easily said about 1% also. The last part is the power of the future, where Hannah shows up in albino python cocoon skirt with the heelless skin boot morphing into her leg, showing that the 1% have access to tools of life that most of us don't. Michelle Ami walks the show as a representation of bracing the natural beauty of aging and no need to play pretend. This fashion show is a commentary on society that we live in. This is what fashion does the most. provoke. The collection might leave you uncomfortable, but the question is, doesn't society already make you feel?
Over 100,000 people lost their jobs in February. 100,000? Should we blame Trump? Is it the war? Or maybe people are just tired of going to work. How can you make America great again if people can't even go to work to buy food and pay their bills? Wait, we shouldn't be buying food and paying bills anyway. Is this something spiritual going on that we need to know about? This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. I hear so many people saying, I don't want to work no more. Why should we go to work and work for a bunch of billionaires that's eating children? We have a point. I want people to understand something. This is all part of their plan. Why do you think they are releasing all these files? If these people are in a secret society, how did their secrets get out to the society? Maybe they want us to know about it. The so-called elites don't care if you quit your jobs. You know why? They don't need us no more. They don't need real people. Everything is about to be artificial intelligence. Did you hear what ChatGPT just did with the Pentagon? They are using AI against you. So if you was using ChatGPT to talk about your personal life, ChatGPT just copy and paste you. They love when people speak about their childhood trauma, relationship status, why you can't get a job, what religion you believe in. It's all about knowing you. AI is not dumb. People are dumb for letting AI think for them. Everything is dealing with rhythm. We have rhythm. AI have the algorithm. Notice how algorithm and rhythm kind of similar. These people want you to quit your job. And if you really want to quit your job, go ahead and do it. But remember, everything in this reality is about your energy. We all came here to build a system where we don't have to work for another system. You are supposed to work for yourself. Why go in a grocery store and buy fish when you can learn how to fish? Why keep buying fruit over and over when you can just buy seeds and plant your own? Learn how to clean your water. Learn how to think so you don't need people to think for you. You hear so many people say, release the file. Well, they're about to release your file because file is just the word life. Yes, you have been released from duty. Real soon, they're going to give all of us two options. You can go with the algorithm, AI, or you can take your ass back in nature and be in harmony. The choice will be yours.